absolutely flipping huge tribe. Not only did we get one, we got 2 new kit reveals and a rework. The 5th character that's going into the Jedi Master Mace Windu team is going to be Aayla Secura, Bluebees herself. Let's go take a look at these amazing new kits. Alright, we are going to start off with Depa Billaba. She is going to be the marquee character that we are getting next week on Tuesday, so stay tuned for that, as it were. She is also an attacker just like Mace, Galactic Republic Jedi, and Jedi Vanguard. Those of you that don't know, Depa was the understudy of Mace Windu. She was his Padawan, and she was also the master of Caleb Doom, also known as Kanan Jarrus of the Phoenix fame. So she's got a little bit of kit inspiration from both of those characters, with her sort of synergies with Mace and Shatterpoint, but also with her ability to counterattack and cleanse debuffs and stuff like that. Looking pretty sick, love the artwork, love everything so far. So we're not going to look at the key attributes because we've got a lot of stuff to go over today, but essentially she is going to be coming to the game on Tuesday. She is definitely going to be a stock 5th or 4th for the Mace Windu team. She has got so much close synergy, she really brings that team together. Okay then, so let's go ahead and check it out. First of all, they've done this new thing now where they're actually making recommended mod sets. Quite cool. She is an attacker. She does not really need a lot of speed because she gains quite a bit of bonus turn meter with Mace. So they're saying, let's go throw some offense mods on. Let's throw crit chance mods on. Now, in my experience, crit chance mods, not particularly that valuable in the long run, because there are so many ways of getting additional crit chance. There's stuff like vulnerable on the enemy team, which is guaranteeing crits. There's crit chance up buffs, and typically speaking, if you've got a lot of relic levels on these characters, their crit chance is high enough that they're almost guaranteed to crit all the time. So here we go. When are we getting it? This Tuesday coming. It's required at Relic 5 for Jedi Master Mace Windu, just like all of the other requirements for this entire era. So all the Dark Side clones, also Jedi Temple Guard, and Depa Billaba are required for Jedi Master Mace, who is coming on the 24th of this month. So not too long away, only about 2 weeks, less than. Alright, okay, so abilities. Let's go ahead and check this out. First and foremost, we have got Serene Blade over here. Pretty standard basic animation, nothing too fancy over here. Quite like the Jedi robes that she's got. It's pretty cool looking, quite long, baggy Jedi robes. What does it do? Deal physical damage to the target enemy during Deepa's turn. Inflict vulnerable. What does vulnerable do? Guarantees critical hits, ladies and gentlemen. Were we not talking about critical hits just a second ago? If it is not Deepa's turn, this is really interesting. And all allies with Jedi Vanguard at the start of battle, this attack deals 25% more damage, stacking until the start of her next turn. So essentially, the more you call her to assist, it's going to use this basic attack, right? And it's going to ramp the damage that it does, 25% more damage every time she's called to attack. So technically speaking, you don't want a lot of speed on her, because every time she gets called in to assist, she's going to deal more and more damage, basically. There's no cap on that, so it's really, really cool. Special 1, Vapard Disciple. Now, Vapard is, of course, Jedi Master Mace Windu's preferred lightsaber form, so we're seeing a little bit of inspiration there, and it looks like this animation is actually the same animation as Jedi Knight Luke's first special. They run over, do a kick, and then an overhead chop. It's not exactly the same, but certainly takes inspiration, I feel. Alright, okay, so what does this do? Inflict heal immunity for 2 turns and deal physical damage to the target enemy. Depa gains health steal up for 2 turns. If Jedi Master Mace Windu is in the leader slot, this ability does 50% more damage, and she calls Jedi Master Mace Windu to assist twice. Pretty powerful for a cooldown of 3. It's a call to assist, it's a heal immunity, and she gains health steal up. If Mace is in the leadership, 50% more damage. Not bad. Now, we are going to wait and have to see what the damage multipliers are going to be like on this ability. Is it got a low damage multiplier, high damage multiplier? We'll have to find out soon enough. Next up, we've got Will of the Council, and I feel like this one just looks sick. Very much feels like they took an inspiration from Jedi Knight Luke, but I believe this was in Season 3 of Bad Batch, the first couple of episodes where you see her defending Caleb Dune from the clones during Order 66. So she does like a repulse and then goes into a stance. It's pretty sick. Pretty sick looking. So what does it do? If Jedi Master Mace Windu is in the allied leader, dispel all buffs on enemies, and if enemies had investigation, that is a mechanic that exists on Jedi Master Mace Windu, they gain a stack of investigation for 2 turns, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. Deal bonus physical damage to all enemies with Shatterpoint. Now, the new Mace can apply Shatterpoint on his basic. So when you use that first special, you'll call Mace into assist twice. He's going to place Shatterpoint on an enemy, right? So when you use this is the interesting part. You deal this bonus damage. Anybody that you deal that bonus damage to gets a locked Shatterpoint. Now, I'm not entirely certain if that stays locked for the rest of the game, or if you hit that character that has got Shatterpoint, then they lose Shatterpoint. Not sure. It's unclear at this point. Inflict Shatterpoint against, excluding raid bosses and Galactic Legends, on all enemies. This bonus damage was dealt to until the end of the encounter, which can't be copied, dispelled, evaded, or resisted. See, that's really interesting mechanic. I'm not entirely sure if it means it's locked for the rest of battle, or it's just locked until you hit that character. Jedi Vanguard allies gain crit damage up and defense penetration up for 2 turns. Depa and Jedi Master Mace Windu gain Foresight for 2 turns. When this Foresight expires from Depa, she gains 100% turn meter. Again, don't really need speed on her. When this Foresight expires from Jedi Master Mace Windu, he gains protection up 50% for 2 turns. So pretty cool AoE there. All in all, pretty strong ability, cooldown of 4, not too bad. If it is locking Shatterpoint for the rest of the battle on characters that had Shatterpoint originally, that's huge, because you are just going to shred through their max health so quickly. Alright, okay, so next up we've got Unique. Nothing and Everything. Depa has 70% counter chance, 25% offense, and recovers 15% health and protection whenever she is inflicted with a debuff. This is sort of like that Kanan influence there. If Jedi Master Mace Windu is in the leader slot, Depa is going to gain 30% turn meter at the start of each encounter, and whenever he uses an ability, Depa is going to gain 25% additional crit damage for 2 turns. Again, more important to have her slower, so Mace takes more turns so she can be called to assist lots, ramp up that damage, and ramp up her crit damage. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with Shatterpoint, Depa is also going to gain advantage for 2 turns. Do you remember talking about that crit chance set? Do you really need crit chance if you've got advantage? Not so much. So she's doing vulnerable and she's gaining advantage, lots and lots of easy crits. I don't think you need crit chance on her mods. If all allies were Jedi Vanguard at the start of battle, whenever an enemy is defeated, if they had stacks of investigation, the next time a Jedi Vanguard uses a special ability and the target was not revealed, inflict a stack of investigation for 2 turns, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. Whenever an enemy gains a stack of investigation, Depa gains speed up for 2 turns. Again, don't need so much speed on her, she's gaining speed up. It's pretty cool. So she has got TB Ommis, or just the one Ommi for TB. I'm not sure I'm going to apply this one. I'm not really a guy that really loves those sort of TB Ommis, but if you like TB, you do you, boo. So Jedi Vanguard allies are going to gain 200% max health and offense, so they're going to do so much damage. At the start of each encounter, Jedi Vanguard tanks gain 200% bonus protection until the end of the encounter. Whenever a Jedi Vanguard ally uses an ability, they remove 10% turn meter from their target enemy. Whenever a Jedi Vanguard ally defeats an enemy, all Jedi Vanguard recover 50% health and protection and gain damage immunity and speed up for 3 turns. Whenever a Jedi Vanguard ally is damaged by an enemy, all other Jedi Vanguard gain 10% turn meter and enemies cannot be revived. Pretty hefty. It is probably enough to full auto TB with that. Doesn't sound as powerful as, say, like Marox, for example, but this still sounds pretty good. And that is Depa's kit all in all. So obviously if you look at that in isolation, there's a lot that's missing, because you're like, what's investigation? What is revealed? Yada, yada, yada. What does Mace Windu do? Because that's where all the power is, right? And you'd be right. So fortunately, CG did give us Mace's kit as well. Let's take a look. And there he is, Mace Windu himself, the new legendary character coming on the 24th of this month. Jedi Master Mace Windu going right out that window. Hand me my lightsaber. It's the one that says BMF. A badass mother flirkin'. Yeah. All right, so what do we know about Mace? He is an attacker. Yay! And he also has, without a doubt, the largest sleeves I have ever seen in my life. You could literally hide Grandmaster Yoda in these sleeves. Enormous sleeves. If nothing else, he has enormous sleeves. All right, we're going to skip through all of this. They're saying speed set and health set for Mace. Why not? Why not? How do we get him? He is going to be available from the 24th of this month on the Tuesday, so the week after Depa Billaba joins the holotables. Mace will be here. He will be here for 1 week, and then he is most likely going into a 3-month rotation, okay? You need all of the era of the Skyfall era battle, or the era of the Revenge of the Sith, sorry, Skyfall battle. you need to have all of those characters at Relic 5 in order to unlock him. So if you don't get him this time round, you are going to have to wait probably 3 months, okay? Because they say here his return is subject to change, but currently planned to be at the end of the following era. Each era is 3 months, guys, okay? So we're in for a long wait, and don't forget he is going to be a raid team, probably a very good raid team, and the raid is likely going to be dropping very quickly after Mace comes into the game, if I was to take a guess. I would say the raid is probably dropping in a month or so. Alright, what squad is he best with? The new Vanguard characters in Aayla Secura. So yes, Aayla Secura is getting a new unique, and it is enormous, guys. So let's check out Ayla's unique ability first. So this new unique is called Let It Guide You. At the start of battle, if Mace Windu is in the leader slot, the new one, and there are no other Jedi Vanguard attackers with a leader ability, this basically precludes you from using Kelleran Beck or Kit Fisto. So if you had high hopes of using Kit Fisto with your new Jedi Vanguard, you are dashed upon the rocks, good sir. Do not use him. You just got to use the new stuff, guys. And Jocasta, alright? At the start of each encounter, inflict all enemies with defense down for 2 turns. Not bad, that's got synergy with Jocasta. All Jedi Vanguard allies gain 30% max health, potency, and tenacity until the end of battle, and 30% max protection until the first time Aayla is defeated. Aayla gains 50% crit chance and tenacity, 30% defense, and 5% offense per relic amplifier level. So I'm not sure if you get all of these stats per relic amplifier level or just the offense per relic amplifier level. Not entirely clear on that just yet. If it's crit chance and tenacity and defense, that would be incredible. Like, you could have so much crit chance and tenacity and defense. And the offense is quite nice as well. Whenever Aayla stuns an enemy from her abilities, all Jedi Vanguard allies recover 20% health and protection. She's going to be stunning because whenever she crits, she can stun. So you're going to want to put a lot of potency on this girl. Whenever Aayla critically hits an enemy, she gains 8% crit chance and crit damage, stacking until the end of the encounter, and if that enemy had a stack of investigation, they gain another stack of investigation. So we already know she's got loads of crit chance. She's already got decent crit chance baked in. You want to just throw that potency on to land the stuns, but also, you crit them, you're gaining more crit chance, you're gaining more crit damage, and that has got no cap, guys. No cap at all. Whenever Aayla uses a special ability, she's only got the one and it is kind of trash, she calls a random other Jedi Vanguard attacker ally to assist, and Jedi Vanguard allies recover 25% health and protection. Now we actually have a reason to use Ayla's special, because her special is garbage. It is absolute garbage. Look at it. It's called Survivor. Deal physical damage to the target enemy and recover health equal to 65% of the damage dealt. Like, who wants to do that? That's awful. That's an awful ability. You might as well just basic, where she has a chance to call an ally to assist and dealing more damage. You would always ignore this special ability. Not any longer, because now you will call a random Jedi Vanguard ally to assist, and they're going to recover a decent amount of health and protection. Alright, if all allies with Jedi Vanguard at the start of each encounter, and there is no Galactic Legend enemies, whenever an enemy attacks out of turn, all Vanguard allies recover 15% health and protection, and the ally they attacked dispels all debuffs on themselves. If the enemy was called to assist, all other enemies lose 8% turn meter, which cannot be resisted. So this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. It's sort of protecting the team from a number of other teams. Stuff like Imperial Troopers will have a hard time against this. Even to a degree, stuff like Maul Mando's teams, they're going to struggle with this. But hey, we'll find out soon enough. Okay, now this is something that I have to laugh about. In Mace's kit, they put a reference to Jedi Knight Anakin not getting Mastery because he doesn't get the rank of Master. In the kit, they say, if there is an ally Jedi Knight Anakin, he does not gain Mastery increase because he's not Master. He's on the Council, but he does not get the rank of Master. I mean, that's just brilliant if you ask me. Okay, we're going to get over to the kits now. His basic is called Shatterpoint. It's pretty cool. Look at those sleeves though, man. Those sleeves are throwing me out. They are spitting me out. They are giant. They are enormous sleeves. He could almost hide that IPD in his sleeve. All right, here we go. So, big basic. Deal physical damage to the target enemy, and if all allies were Jedi Vanguard at the start of battle, inflict them with Shatterpoint, excluding raid bosses and Galactic Legends until the end of the encounter, which can't be copied, dispelled, evaded, or resisted. If they already had Shatterpoint, reduce the cooldowns of all Jedi Vanguard allies by 1. That's really cool. His basic can reduce cooldowns. If they had at least one stack of investigation, Mace is going to gain speed up for 1 turn. His special is called Decapitation Strike, and it irritates me that this isn't the spin that he uses to decapitate Django. I feel like that's a missed opportunity. They could have just got the spin in, but no, I guess not. Instead, he goes in and he does the swing, and then he's just like, hey, I did it, go me. So what do we know about Decapitation Strike? Deal physical damage to the target enemy, and all Jedi Vanguard allies gain tenacity up for 2 turns. If the target enemy was in the leader slot, this damage is doubled. All enemies are inflicted with doubt for 2 turns, and doubt is great. Stops buffs, stops turn meter gains. And all enemies who already had a stack of investigation gain another stack to a maximum of 5 for 2 turns. If the enemy in the leader slot was already defeated, doubt can't be dispelled, evaded, or resisted. If the enemy was revealed, this damage is tripled. So this attack, I feel, is going to be the coup de grace. It's going to be a massive, massive damaging attack. You want to be focusing on characters that have been revealed, because it does triple damage, and it's going to spread doubt. So this one is going to be the big finisher right now. Special 2, the Hammer of Ryloth, has a cooldown of 4 and does have an Omicron for Territory War. Looks absolutely sick, I'll be honest. That's like a proper repulse ability over there. Looks sick. So, final text. Dispel all debuffs on all Jedi Vanguard allies and deal physical damage to all enemies. All Jedi Vanguard allies gain offense up for 2 turns. If the target enemy had at least 1 stack of investigation, call Depa Billaba to assist, and we know that means she's going to be ramping the damage on her basic, right? If the target enemy was revealed, call all Jedi Vanguard allies to assist, and if Depa Billaba was an ally, she assists again. So you're going to want to focus on revealed characters. The TW Army for this: reduce the defense of all enemies by 20% stacking until the end of the encounter, and inflict all revealed enemies with heal immunity and protection disruption for 2 turns, which is going to be locked in, alright? All enemies that already had a stack of investigation gain 2 more stacks for 2 turns. Feels huge. Feels huge, that ability. Probably a pretty decent TW Omicron as well. Don't know if you guys really like TW Omicrons, you'll have to make that decision up for yourself. Finally, we've got Unique 1, Arrest Warrant, Zeta and Omicron. At the start of battle, Jedi Vanguard allies gain Foresight for 1 turn. Mace ignores Taunt effects for 1 turn, and if Depa Billaba is an ally, Mace is going to gain 30% max health and 15 speed until the end of battle. Pretty good. Alright. If all allies were Jedi Vanguard at the start of battle, whenever the enemy in the leader slot is defeated, inflict all enemies with a new debuff called Low Morale. So we've got Investigation Revealed and Low Morale for the rest of the encounter, which can't be dispelled, evaded, or resisted. And whenever an enemy dispels a debuff, Mace dispels all debuffs on himself and inflicts all enemies with buff immunity for 1 turn. That's a really cool little reactionary mechanic there. Whenever an enemy becomes revealed, all Jedi Vanguard tanks taunt for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled, locked taunt over there on our Temple Guard, and Mace gains a bonus turn. During this bonus turn, he ignores taunt effects. Really cool. Bonus turn. More chances to call Depa to assist. Mace deals bonus true damage against revealed enemies. So when they're revealed, extra true damage. Not sure how much this true damage is going to be, we'll have to wait and see. This damage cannot defeat enemies. Whenever Mace deals damage to an enemy with 1 stack of investigation, inflict them with Provoked for 1 turn. So they are then going to counterattack and take some damage themselves. What does Low Morale do? Lowers defense by 25%, health, offense, and speed by 25%. This is kind of like Breach, but better. It's a really, really powerful debuff. So this seems really sick. This seems really sick. So, really good. 2 turns that they get that for, I believe. Is it 2 turns? No, they get low morale for the rest of the encounter, so focusing on defeating the leader is huge. Whilst in Territory Wars, at the start of battle, Jedi Vanguard allies will ignore taunt effects for 1 turn. During Mace's bonus turn, whenever an enemy becomes revealed, reset the cooldown of Mace's abilities, so then he can use the big attacks, you know, he can use the Hammer of Ryloth, he can call in Depa to assist, etc, etc. Mace gains 30% offense stacking and 10 speed stacking whenever revealed enemies are defeated, until the end of the encounter. That's gnarly. As the battle goes on, Mace is going to get so strong. Whenever Mace is damaged by a revealed enemy, or by an enemy with at least 1 stack of investigation, he recovers 5% health and protection once per turn, and gains 5% turn meter once per turn. He then inflicts them with speed down for a turn, which cannot be evaded or resisted. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with Shatterpoint, all Vanguard allies gain riposte for 1 turn. What does that do for Depa? Means that if you hit her, she's going to counterattack, attacks out of turn, which means ramping the damage on that basic. And attacks under protection. So, leader is Solver, Zeta, and Omicron. Final text. At the start of battle, Jedi Vanguard allies gain 20% crit chance, crit damage, offense, and 10 speed. If there is an active Depa Billaba, she and Mace gain double these stats. Not bad. If all allies with Jedi Vanguard at the start of battle, defeated enemies cannot be revived. So, no revives versus this team, which is always good. Whenever a Jedi Vanguard ally uses an ability during their turn, while no other enemy has a stack of investigation, target enemies gain a stack of investigation to a maximum of 5 for 2 turns. Whenever an enemy attacks out of turn with at least 1 stack of investigation, you blind them for a turn. Don't forget, we're putting that provoked on the enemy with that TW Omicron, so if they attack out of turn, they're going to get blinded. And they're going to gain another stack of investigation, which is going to make it easier for us to get them revealed. Whenever an enemy gains 5 stacks of investigation, they lose investigation in totality, dispel all buffs on themselves, and become revealed, which they cannot get rid of for the rest of the encounter. If an enemy defeats a Jedi Vanguard ally with at least 1 stack of investigation, they immediately become revealed. So what does investigation do? It lowers crit damage by 15% per stack, so at 5 stacks it is 75% less crit damage. The same thing applies to revealed characters. When they are revealed, they have got 75% less crit damage. They also cannot stealth, cannot attack out of turn, and get exposed for a turn which can't be evaded or resisted. At the start of each of this unit's turn, if they already have it, enemies can also ignore taunt effects to target this unit. So it's a very powerful debuff. Very powerful. The enemy can't, really doesn't do much crit damage. They can't stealth, they can't attack out of turn, and they get exposed at the start of each of their turns if they didn't have it already. Really powerful. Really powerful. So here's the thing about investigation. It can only be on 1 character at a time. 1 enemy character at a time, okay? So you need to focus on getting each character up to 5 stacks of investigation. They become revealed, then you work on another character, and so on and so forth. Whilst in Territory Wars, this leadership has got additional Omicron abilities. If Jocasta Nu is an ally, she gains 100% defense, max health, and max protection. And we know she does damage based on max protection, so she is going to absolutely destroy. She cannot be targeted either until Jedi Master Mace Windu is defeated. So you're going to have to basically try and get through Temple Guard, who's a very chunky individual, defeat Mace before you defeat Jocasta Nu. That's going to give her plenty of time so that she can actually get into her rifle stance and then blow up the board. It's going to be huge. Also, Jedi Vanguard allies cannot be instantly defeated. This might help this team defensively against things like Reaver Inquisitors, for example, because Grand Inquisitor has got an insta-kill on his Omicron, one of his Omicrons, right, on his special attack, second special Omicron, where if the target enemy is a Jedi and they've got 6 stacks of Purge, insta-kill them. This will protect the Jedi Vanguard from Reaver in that sense. Now, I don't know if it's going to be enough. It might well be. I think this team will hold against Reaver, but we'll have to wait and see. Whenever a Jedi Vanguard ally gains Deflective Ward, which they get from Jocasta Nu, all other Jedi Vanguard allies gain Deflective Ward until they receive damage. Jedi allies gain 10% mastery per revealed enemy, 20% if they are Jedi Vanguard until the end of the encounter. So big jumps in mastery whenever you reveal an enemy. If there is an ally Jedi Knight Anakin, he does not gain the Jedi Mastery increase. No rank of Master. Whenever the enemy gains a stack of investigation, Jedi Vanguard allies gain 1% mastery until the end of the encounter. Of course, 5 enemies, they can gain 5 stacks of investigation before they are revealed, so technically speaking, every time an enemy gets revealed, your Vanguard allies are going to gain 25% mastery. At the end, you're going to have 125% mastery in games. Not bad. Although, by the time you defeat the 5th person, it doesn't really matter, right? Jedi Vanguard allies take 5% reduced damage from enemies with stacks of investigation, 15% if they are revealed. Not bad, not bad. And Galactic Legends can now be revealed. Now, you cannot reveal Sith enemies. You can investigate them, but they can never be revealed, unfortunately. So that is one clause for this Mace Windu kit. Overall, I'd say this team looks fun, but doesn't look massively broken out the gate. Does that make sense? To me, it feels like this team is going to be fun. It's going to find a nice place in the meta. It's not going to be massively broken and taking out a bunch of Galactic Legends, I don't think. I think in Territory Wars, it'll definitely take out some. It will probably struggle with things like Lord Vader, but I think it has the capability of doing great. I think it'll take out things like JMK. I think it could take out things like Rey, potentially, Jabba, potentially. You know, those attacks out of turn are going to hurt the Jabba team a little bit. Overall, I think it looks pretty cool. I think it looks pretty cool. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. What do you think about Depa? What do you think about Mace? What do you think about the rework for Aayla? And I will see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.